You're listening to the Telltale Channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. The biggest Chungai might be a bit difficult for you to answer, but in your opinion, what cult is the most dangerous to society as a whole? Keep up the good work, man. Well, I appreciate that. It's complicated. If we're talking about, like, regardless of how many members that the cult has right now, then I have one opinion. If we're taking into account how many members the cult has, I have another opinion. And how insulated it is. So, for example, Scientology, last I checked, has 40 or 50,000 members. That goes up or down. Generally, it goes up as time goes on. Last I checked, it had 40K. I'm guessing it probably has 50K by now. Jehovah's Witnesses have 8.5 million last I checked. But Scientology is more destructive to society, generally speaking. If Scientology and Jehovah's Witnesses both had 8.5 million members, Scientology would be the more destructive one by far. But there's a bottleneck with cults, because the more extreme, radical, crazy beliefs that a group has, the fewer members they will bring in and retain, basically. The more of a mental, emotional investment you have to put into the cult, the fewer people you're going to bring in. So Scientology is only at 40 or 50,000 members because they ask a lot of their members. They require a lot of their members. Jehovah's Witnesses also require a lot as far as what you're supposed to believe and things like that. But in a lot of ways, you don't really reach those limits. Like, it gets more extreme with Jehovah's Witnesses the longer time you spend in the religion. So the initial down payment, if you will, on being a Jehovah's Witness is minimal. It's low. All you have to do is show up to their meetings, and they all seem super nice. And you can go to their meetings for a solid year without any expectations. Just go, hang out with people, talk to them, be nice to them, they'll be nice to you. With Scientology, there is a literal down payment. You have to invest money in being a part of this group. And money is a huge barrier for people a lot of the time, especially right now. Since there is more of an investment, not just monetarily, but, emotionally, mentally, physically, there's more of an investment in Scientology that people have to give to Scientology than to Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses bring in more members, basically. So the most insidious, radical, dangerous cults in a lot of cases are the smallest ones because they require the most investment. Like I said, not just monetary investment, but mental investment and behavioral investment. So all other things being equal, let's say every cult on the face of the earth had the exact same number of members. I would say one of the most dangerous cults out there would be Scientology. Because for one thing, they have a shitload of money. They have a ton of money, and they've put a lot of effort into infiltrating parts of government. There are articles written by and about Leah Remini, famous ex-Scientologist, talking about the fact that there are Scientologists in the White House and around the White House. There are Scientologists affiliated with major political figures. They want to get as involved in politics as humanly possible, and they're willing to do anything, literally anything, to get what they want. Jehovah's Witnesses have a code of ethics, for better or worse, that prevents them from doing certain extreme things. And also, they don't get involved in politics at all. That's kind of against their rules. Scientology has a very extreme angry streak in them, maybe. I'm not really sure what word exactly that I'm looking for, but that probably comes close. Jehovah's Witnesses and Scientologists both have a quote-unquote fair game policy. Lie, cheat, steal, attack, do literally anything to further the goals of the group. They're both willing to do those things. But one of them, Scientology, is willing to take it a step further and ruin people's lives for it. Jehovah's Witnesses are more likely to cut people out of their lives rather than try to ruin their lives. So, I don't know. Scientology has a more violent streak. Jehovah's Witnesses are more pacifist, but are a lot bigger. So it's a complicated question. But I hope that talking about some of that answered it for you. Scientology and Jehovah's Witnesses, by the way, obviously are by no means the only cults out there. But right now, I would consider them to be a couple of the most dangerous because of how big they are. Mormonism's also pretty dangerous. Life in the Doghouse. I would say Mormons are probably the most detrimental to American society given the stranglehold they have on our politics. You're right. That is a huge consideration. That's a serious consideration we should be thinking about, this stranglehold on our politics. Also, the IBFP is another... Wait. No, I'm sorry. IBLP. Institute of Bible Life Principles. That's what it is. IBLP. Basically, the cult that the Duggars are from. That is an extremely insidious group, too. An extremely insidious group.